What would you do if night after night you read stories in your local papers and saw on the evening news the stories about your own counties and the drug problem and the drug wars that are going on in your county? I have a teenage daughter. She recently came home and she stayed the night at a friend's house, as teenagers do. And she had mentioned that this friend of hers dad doesn't work, but she was completely spoiled. And a couple of days later, she mentioned that her friend, had found the stash that belonged to her dad. Her dad is obviously a drug dealer. It scared the heck out of me. Just the same day that I was doing the research for this paper, there was an article, and it made the news. There were 17 people arrested in Auglaize and Mercer County by the Grand Lake Task Force. My name is Tracy Ellis. I'm a nursing student at Edison, and the purpose of my speech today is to get you to support the Grand Lake Task Force. I want to tell you about the history of the Grand Lake Task Force, some of the statistics of what they've accomplished, and what you can do to help them out. The Grand Lake Task Force is comprised of law enforcement. It's multi-jurisdictional. It has sheriffs, city police, prosecutors. It is composed for the purpose of fighting organized crime and drug issues. I never realized that Auglaize and Mercer County sit on some major roads that lead to major cities, such as Fort Wayne, Lima, Columbus, Dayton. And apparently the traffic that goes through our rural area is full of drug activity. In 1991, there was a grant that was composed. They take some federal money, some local money, approximately 75-25, and they had a grant that created the Grand Lake Task Force. Now, a couple of things that it was created to do. It was supposed to be multi-jurisdictional. That way, police from different cities can cross the lines, can help each other, can go in as a group into these drug houses and things like that. They want to increase the arrest and the prosecutions for the arrest to really make things stick. They want to increase the amount of assets and forfeitures coming from this. It all helps in the funding. Locally, there's marijuana cultivation, cocaine, meth, prescription drug problems, LSD, inhaled drugs. The list goes on right here in rural Auglaize and Mercer County. I never would have believed it myself. If these people are working, it reduces productivity, the absentee rate, it creates workplace accidents. That all costs money for you and me. It's scary. It's not a victimless crime. It's number one in the ERs. 85% of crime is drug and alcohol related. It's almost always progressive. And it's right here. People act like they don't even see it. The task force is involved in putting a stop to organized crime, anything involving drug involvement. They're surveillance specialists. They spend, it could be a week, it could be a year, dotting their I's and crossing their T's so they can get these arrests. They go into our schools and they do the drug education, trying to teach our kids what the problem is. The problem is getting worse. The statistics prove it. Being a nursing student, I have heard the teachers say, I have seen with my own eyes the effects of drugs in the hospital. One of my teachers is an ICU nurse. She shares stories of the same person coming back time after time, lying in the ICU with repeated drug problems. A member of my in-laws' family shared a story with me just a few months ago. Her son is an admitted heroin addict. She very seldom sees him, and when she does, she said she fears that every single time she sees her child, she's afraid it will be the last. He is nothing but skin and bones and track marks. She weeps, and she is trying everything she can to help him. And she said she feels like it's to no avail. A camp I went to last week, I saw children who have had issue after issue. It could be families, it can be sexual abuse, it can be everything. One child who lost their parent, their father, when they were young. Dad number 2 sexually abused them. Dad number 3 just got hooked on drugs, overdosed himself, and the mother said, I can't do this anymore, and gave her children up. What is this coming to? What are these drugs doing to these people, to these children? When I was starting to do the research for this project, I found so many articles talking about what the Drug Task Force has done. They were endless. It was 6 arrests made, 7 arrests made, 32 arrests made. That day I was doing it, just that day was at 17. Now I'm happy to see it. It means things are coming off the streets. Every article I see, they say the investigation continues. It continues because these people, these drug dealers, aren't ethical. Not in the least. They narc on each other, and then they find more people, But what I've also seen in these articles are the police officers saying, the message they're trying to send out is, we're not doing this in other ways in Mercer County. We're not going to put up with this anymore. If you're doing drugs here, we're going to chase you down. We're going to hunt you. We're going to find you. Keep it out of our area. Keep our kids safe. There was one of the articles that just came out was this right here. Do you see this? This is a Narcan kit. Police officers, that is a tool in their arsenal, so to speak now. They're carrying Narcan. It's a somewhat of a reversal agent in layman's terms to drugs. Sooner they can get that on board with someone who's overdosed, the better off they are, the better their chances of survival. But that's a Band-Aid. It's not the solution. I saw the statistics on the Highway Patrol reports themselves. Just the drug ones, statewide, and in our county, all Glaze and Mercer counties are extremely high compared to some of them in the state, as far as rural counties go. There's a site that mentions the former meth houses. 5 of them were listed in Mercer County alone. 5 meth houses, known meth houses that were busted. In a small county like that. The past statistics I've looked at, it has grown every year. This problem is on the rise. The reasons that we need your help and what you can do, I want to conclude it like this. Your children. It's as simple as that. Your children, your grandchildren, your neighbors' children. They are worth it. Neighborhood safety. It is your problem. We have to do something about it. These people are fighting it. The Grand Lake Task Force is fighting it furiously. They need your help. Here's my challenge to you. There is a drug war clock. Google it. It's not the money that's being spent. They can spend money. They're spending billions. That clock is completely rolling. What they need is people to call it in, people to report the activities. Let your voice be heard. These tips to the Grand Lake Task Force can be completely anonymous. They will go after these people. They will get them. They will do the investigations. I know firsthand. If you give them the names, you give them the tools, you say, I've seen people at these houses. I have heard this. They'll check into it. Even the rumors. It could lead to bigger and bigger things. Like I said, these drug dealers are not ethical people. And I tell you this. If there is a problem with you, with your family, with anybody that needs help for these drug issues, there are places right here in Auglaize and Mercer County that can help. One of them is called the Gateway Outreach Center. And I ask for you to get in touch with them if you need help. And if you can do anything to stop the problem, contact the Grand Lake Task Force.